On a recent weekday morning just after rush hour, we saw frequent stops by cars and some bike path users crossing Lake Street without giving drivers much warning. Various transportation and safety agencies in town, along with bicycle advisory members and pedestrian groups, have been working together to come up with solutions. Initial plans to improve the intersection with electronic signaling and more visible markings were presented at a recent public meeting.
So the idea is to separate the modes of travel and clearly define where people should be going, whether they're in a car or bicyclists or pedestrians. And that's important because everyone's going at different speeds. The project as it's proposed today includes an improved crossing at the Minuteman Bikeway crossing at Lake Street, along with a full traffic signal. All new traffic signal equipment at the Brooks Avenue intersection. And that's really important to ensure that the two signals operate as one system and are communicating with each other. For the bicycle signals, what we'd likely be proposing here is what's shown here. And really that's a red, yellow, and green indication, but instead of a circular indication, it's actually a bicycle symbol. So those bike symbols, signals, would be along the bike path parallel to those pedestrian signals. And well, it's somewhat new. It's not unprecedented. Other towns and cities in the area are using these already. Most notably, even along the Minuteman Bikeway in Lexington at the Bedford Street crossing, those bicycle signals are already in place.
In addition to adding and syncing signals, the 12-foot wide bike path would expand to 25 feet as it approached Lake Street, allowing bicycles and pedestrians more room and separate lanes while waiting and crossing. Concerns about continued traffic backups in the area and making sure cyclists get a heads up as they approach the intersection were common themes when it was time for residents to speak up.
If you're a resident in the general neighborhood, you can see that those that live in Kelwin Manor or those that live on the opposite side, there's a lot of signs up that say do not enter, and that's because why? We have traffic. And I would anticipate that the town would make that infrastructure upgrade to have a coordinated system where your lights from the Lake Street intersection to Brooks to this are all in sync. If they're not in sync, this will not work.
Ultimately, the coordination with the Lake Street Mass Ave signal was not recommended to be included as part of the system.
I don't think that capture area nor that release area are big enough to not end up with a pile of bikes trying to get around each other, and then the last ones running into the first pedestrians, for example, as they re-emerge.
It seems to me that providing the cyclists with some warning about when the light is going to turn red would be extremely helpful and would dramatically increase your compliance.
I'm asking that, at least during the peak hours, for some predictability to crossing so that, if I'm a quarter mile out in the path, I know that I could slow down, group up with other bicyclists, so I could catch a green, because that's the problem today, right? There's chaos. You approach the intersection, everybody has to stop-ish. But having the ability to know that it's going to be green, so I could speed up a little bit and catch a green would be a way to, through making it a more appropriate experience for everybody to kind of get where they need to be based on their abilities.
Because the bicycles right now, what we're saying is we need to have a lot of investment and change the way you approach the intersection so that you can be predictable and so you can be safe. And what I want to say is we need to put at least as much effort into the 2-ton vehicles that will cause the immediate safety impact, if there is one.
Public comments will be incorporated as the team refines its design. Those plans will be shared at the next public meeting to be scheduled for late September.